Hey guys, welcome back. Ricky here. So you've recently purchased a really nice knife with a Rockwell rating of 62 to 63. Should you spend the extra 150 to 200 bucks and buy a glass whetstone set or any other premium whetstone set? Or can you get away with a $30, $40 option using a really $10, $20 whetstone and a homemade strop? Okay, so that's the question that I have today. That's a question I get from a lot of folks is, do you have to spend a lot of money to buy a good set of whetstones and or strop? I don't really know the answer to that question exactly, but what we are going to try today is we are going to just compete, go head to head, sharpen the same knives with the same sharpener. Hopefully you guys will see the results at the end that will make sense for you. Okay, so I have my trusty brick here. I'm going to run the knives, each knife 20 times on the brick, and just to show you they are both fairly sharp. They were done, they actually were sharpened on a previous video, and so they both are pretty clean right now. This one is pretty beat up because I was doing some experimental things with it, but it can still cut, just not great. Put this away. There is a fan running over here because it is 90 degrees outside and it is absolutely roasting here in the studio. So without the fan, I would not be able to shoot this. Hopefully the fan doesn't make the wind noise too bad. So we're going to run the brick, or the knives on the brick 20 times. And if I am not off on my counting, I think that's 4. And if I'm off, that's too bad because I'm talking to you guys at the same time. And a lot of things are going through my mind at the same time. I don't know if that's 10. I think that's a little bit over 10. And it's so funny, people get so offended that I can't count and talk to you guys at the same time. So I go 2 over 20 or something like that, or 3 strokes over 20. My goodness, it's like they want to hang me for it or something. Okay, I don't know how many that is. I've lost count. I think that's over 20 at this point. So it might be over 20. So whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. The knives are extremely dull. Yeah, they're not going to cut at all. So yeah, so both knives are very dull. I don't recommend you running your finger on the edge of your knife. By the way, I do it because I know that my knives are dull after they meet the brick. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna put the brick aside. Okay, so the first thing is this stone is soaking. These are soaking stones. I have 2 here. These are both 400 1000 grit stones by Sharp Pebble and Whetstone Cutlery. I am 99.999% sure they are the exact same stones rebranded. Okay, so I have them both here just because I want to show you guys what they are, but if you can't find one, buy the other because I'm positive they're the same. I'll leave links to both of these stones and everything I use in this video in the description, so you guys can check that out on your own time. So while these are soaking, I'm going to sharpen on the 1000 grit Shapton glass, and then I will polish on the 6000 side. And yeah, then we'll go from there. I need to find my base. Yeah, and for those who are impatient and cannot stand a sharpening session, go to the last 5 or 10 minutes of the video and you guys can see the conclusion there. It's funny, people are so mad when I do long videos. Not everyone, but some people. They're like, you just wasted so much of my time. Well, who told you to sit through the entire video? You have the fast forward, option. I mean, we are living in the modern age, aren't we? Okay, so it's a little dirty, so I'm going to use my rust eraser here. These are the best load up removers. Don't spend money on a Nagara. You can if you want to. It's all up to you. But this thing here is like $7 and is the absolute best thing to remove load up with. And that's all I use exclusively now. I don't even use Nagaras anymore. And I don't need this to be perfectly clean because I know it's clean enough. Okay, so we have 2 knives. I'm going to go knife on my right with the Shapton glass and knife on my left with the cheaper option. And I'm going to put this one over here so that I don't get water on my strop. Okay, so I'm going to walk you guys through what I'm doing with sharpening and why I do certain things, and you guys hopefully will learn a thing or two. So with this knife here, when I sharpen a knife, I always consider the profile. Is it a round profile? Is it a straight edge profile? As you can see here, this is a very rounded, constant radius profile. So these knives tend to work best when I go from tip to heel in one motion. If you cannot do that, you can go in sections. and then you come down to the belly, and that works really, really well as well. But it just takes a little bit more control to go from tip to heel. Okay, I'll do a tutorial on how I sharpen this way soon, so that those who are using more Western style knives can still get a good tutorial of how to sharpen your knives. So I'm gonna go on the right side. Okay, so I'm gonna go from tip to heel. Okay, and I'm gonna move around the stone. It's a little trickier to do this stroke and go to different areas of the stone because you're covering so much space. But you can definitely do it. It's a good habit to try, to at least try, so that you can even out the wear of your stone, especially on a Shapton glass stone where there's not a lot of there's really not a lot of thickness there. Okay, so yeah, we have a very, very evenly developed micro burr. And you don't have to do this, but I like to turn my stones when I remember to, and that helps distribute the wear just a little bit better. Okay, so on the other side. That took, what, 1 or 2 minutes on one side. So very decent cutting stone. Not the fastest cutting stone out there, but definitely very good feeling stones, and just overall very good performing stones. And I have some Kramer glass stones coming soon, so there will be a showdown between Kramer's and Shapton glass stones. You guys do not want to miss that. I don't want to miss that. Okay, so now that we have a burr on the right side as well, I'm gonna go back and just do about 10 strokes on each side for a couple of times, then reduce that number down to 5, and then 1 stroke, and then we will strop, then hop onto the polishing stone. And here we go. Okay, that's 10 strokes. Okay, now we'll do 10 strokes again. And you don't have to do 10, you can do 20 if you want to. I just kind of pick a number that is not too long and not too short. That makes it easy for me to keep track of. So now I'll reduce that number down to 5. Now at this time you can actually reduce it down to 8, 7, 6, you know, you can kind of go down that way, but I find that you don't have to do that every time on a sharpening stone. On the polishing stone you can definitely do that, definitely will find more benefit that way. But on a sharpening stone it's not so important. Okay, so I'll go 5 again. Okay, so now I'll go 1. So this is the question people ask a lot about, is stropping. So let me just quickly explain what I'm doing. So people ask first, why are you stropping edge leading versus edge trailing? So that question is, it really depends on the shape of the knife. When I have a knife that is very well rounded, I like to go edge leading because I can get a much better strop that way. Because if you go edge trailing, okay, if you go edge trailing, you really have to bend the edge a little bit and bend the knife, and it takes a little bit too much effort. So I find that on a curved profile, the edge trailing works the best. Okay, the next question is, what do you do before you hop onto your higher grit stone? Most people will just hop on directly from your sharpening and go onto the higher grit stone, and that's perfectly fine. I have found that if you prep the edge and you prepare it for stropping on the higher grit stone, you actually get a better result. So what I'm doing now is I'm stropping on single strop. I end every sharpening session on a coarser medium grit stone with single strops, whether edge leading or edge trailing, depending on the edge. I go single strops, and I'll do that maybe, let's just say 10 times on each side. Okay, And again, that's just an arbitrary number. You can go 20 times, you can go 12 times, and however many times you want to go, it's fine. And so I'm just going one at a time. And I usually stop when I feel the edge is very, very clean, and I'm really not feeling any differences between the third or fourth stroke. So at this point, I'm feeling that the edge is extremely clean, and yeah, I'm feeling no differences at this point. So I can move on now. At least I feel like I can move on. So I'm gonna put the stone down, and we have the 6,000 grit stone here. Okay, I'm gonna just do a really quick clean, really quick run through the stone. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. I can spend another 20-30 seconds and make sure that the stone is 100% perfect, but I don't need to do that. Okay, so now, when you hop on your higher grit stones, you don't need to go through the sharpening process all over again. You can, there's nothing wrong with that. I have found that the edge maintains a more consistent edge, or consistent cutting performance, if you simply do your stropping motions. So again, because I'm stropping with an edge leading stroke, I'm going to go edge leading strokes. Actually, there's a lot of dirt here. Oh, you know what it is? It's wood chips. I'm getting wood chunks from the water because my my studio here is really, really old, and whenever a squirrel runs on the roof, it like big chunks, little micro chunks of wood actually falls into down into the ground here. So I'm actually getting chunks of wood everywhere. Anyways, it's just my life. Okay, so I'm going edge leading strokes with my strop, and I'm going very light strokes. All I'm doing is I'm looking at the stone and I'm feeling the knife to make sure that I see no obvious strokes or no obvious dark lines. Once those lines disappear and I get just a very clean feeling edge, I know I can stop. And that can go, that can vary between, who knows, 10 strokes per side, or it might take you 20 strokes per side. But whatever that number is, just stop once you get there. Don't go beyond that. Once you feel the edge is clean, and once you've gone a few strokes and nothing feels different, just stop. Okay. In case you don't notice, my hands are a little jittery right now. I had some coffee a little while ago, and so everything's a little bit more jittery today. Hopefully it won't affect my cutting edge too much. The reason I drank coffee this morning is because I'm up at 6 a.m. every day, and so my twins wake up at 6 a.m. and they feed for about 45 minutes to an hour. Then I leave the home at 7 a.m. and go for a run, and I come back and do some workouts in my backyard. So by 8 o'clock in the morning, I have had roughly an hour workout into my day, and that's the only way I can stay sane and healthy. Okay, so this is the I'm gonna put it over here. Yeah, put it right there. So that's one knife, and we will do the cut test at the end. So in case you guys want to see the cut test, just hop to the end of the video. So I'm going to use the Whetstone cutlery. I'm going to use the 1000 grit side, which is the lighter gray side, or lighter side. Slightly, this is like a grayish green. But okay. So we you can see how much smaller this stone is relative to the glass stones. Very, it's, you're looking at 30% less real estate on both sides. So it takes a little bit more practice to sharpen on a tiny bit stone or a tiny stone, but you can definitely do it. And let's see what the edge is after I'm done. Okay, here we are. Yeah, edges there. I mean, this is one of the fastest cutting 1000 grit stones in the $20 range. It's actually one of my favorite stones in that budget category, and it's just a fantastic little stone. I really enjoy it. And I'm not endorsed by them, so I'm not paid by them. I'm not paid by anybody for my videos on my channel. So, but a really good stone. I mean, it's definitely a stone that you guys should consider if you guys just want a cheap budget 400, 1000 grit stone. And we're gonna go to the other side here. Okay. Yeah, the burr has been established. Wow, that is incredible. I actually have never sharpened this next to a Shapton glass, but I will say it's actually faster than the Shapton glass in terms of just raw cutting speed. Okay, so now again, 10 strokes on each side, we'll do that twice, and then 5 strokes on each side, do that twice, and then back to 1 stroke, and then we will hop on to the strop. And notice I'm only applying 1 finger on the knife in terms of balance and weight. And this is only so that I apply very little pressure, and I'm only using my finger as a kind of a counterbalance to what's happening with my other hand. Okay, and it's more like a guide. You don't have to do it that way, but this is just kind of a way for a reminder for myself to not apply any more pressure than is needed. Okay, so that's 10 times on both sides, twice. Now we'll do 5 times. Okay, so now we'll go 1 stroke. Again, I'm really not worried about counting too much. I'm basically going by feel at this point. Okay, so at this point, it's feeling very consistent between every stroke. I really cannot tell the difference now, and I don't feel like there's any more material that this stone can remove. At least not with the pressure that I am applying. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to draw the knife and throw it onto the strop. And we'll go from there. Okay. So, alright. This guy here. Alright, so this is my strop. Okay, so wrong knife there. Okay, so all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna strop backwards, because this here, if you go forward, you'll cut into the strop, and you don't want that. So I'm just gonna go very gently, very lightly. I'll go, well, let's just say, I don't know how many times I did this. Let's just say 12 times on each side. It's a good number. Alright. I have lost count already. I think that's 4. Okay, or maybe that's 5. Okay, let's just say that's 5. This is 6. Okay. Okay, so that was, again, you can go longer than that. I probably should go a little bit longer, but I'm going to stop just for the sake of the video. And so I'm going to clean off any residue from the cutting edge. Alright, so a really quick recap here. We basically, let me, yeah, okay, that's fine here. So we did a sharpening session with the Shapton glass 1000 for this knife over here. Let's put that there. And then the Whetstone cutlery 1000 grit side with this stone. And then I polished on the 6000 grit stone on the Shapton glass with this knife here, and then I simply stropped with this over here. And you don't have to, you don't have to use a leather strop. You can use cardboard. I hear people use cardboard. I've never tried it. I made this strop on my own because I like making things on my own. And so if you guys want to check it out, I will leave links to this strop. There's also strops on Amazon that you guys can buy, and they're fine. I bought a few. I didn't really like the quality, so I went out and made my own, which I'm very happy with. And that is it. So there's no secret here. Both knives are the same knife. These knives are Dal Strong 8-inch chef knife Shogun X knives that were supplied to me by Dal Strong as a review sample. So thank you guys for that. And so yeah, so the same knife. A lot of folks always ask this question: is you're not using the same knife for some of your videos. So I'm using the same knife today. So we have paper up. Okay, so paper. We have just magazine paper. So this here is the Shapton glass stone, and very, very clean. Very nice. Okay, so no one will fault you if you want to spend more money and buy a Shapton glass stone set. Just very, very nice. From edge to edge, I'm going all the way from heel to tip. You can see that. Push cut easily. Okay, very clean. That's the first knife. Here is the budget option. Let's see how it holds up compared to the glass option. Huh. Okay. Edge to edge. That's a wet spot there. Yeah, big wet spot there. But you can see, very, very nice. Okay. I mean, you go back and forth. We can go back and forth here and not lose track of which knife is which. Okay. I mean, honestly, I really cannot tell which knife is which. If you told me that one was sharpened on the other and you switch the knives around, it would be pretty hard to distinguish between the two edges. And both edges are extremely clean, and they are really, really sharp. I mean, maybe the strop is a hair cleaner, because stropping compound, because it breaks, it's finer than a stone. And I think, if I had to pick an absolute winner, you guys listen, tell me, which one actually sounds cleaner to you? I think the strop actually produced a cleaner edge than the 6000 grit stone. But that's me though. From where you're sitting, you might hear something different. Yeah, if I had to pick a winner, I would say the strop polishing actually produced a cleaner edge. And but let me kind of give you guys a review of the stones and kind of tell you what I think of them and which stones you might want to consider. On the 1000 side, so let's just put these aside. Okay. My goodness, it's kind of messy over here. Sorry about that. Okay, so first off, the 1000 grit stones. From a sharpening standpoint, the 1000 grit of the Shapton glass actually was a little bit slower than the Whetstone cutlery. Okay, probably because the 1000 glass stone is actually a bit finer. It actually definitely felt a little bit finer. It has a more supple, luxurious feel to it than the Whetstone cutlery. The feedback is very, very good. Feedback on the Shapton glass stones are generally quite good. Very luxurious, definitely very smooth feeling. These stones are like butter, and when you guys are using good clean stones, and this is one of them, it feels really, really nice. The only hindrance I see, or only negative drawback I see with this particular stone in general, is they tend to run a little bit slower than, let's say, your equivalent Trocera stones. Troceras are actually a little bit faster in terms of their raw cut speed, but these have a really nice luxurious hand feel. Tactile feedback is very, very good on the 1000 grit stone. On the whetstone cutlery though, I mean, I really like the way the stone feels. It's very raw. It doesn't feel like you're on a beginner stone at all. I mean, considering the price of the stone, is actually fantastic, and I really, really enjoy it. It's a soaking stone, and generally I like soaking stones better. I think that they have a more organic feel to them. The feedback on the stone is very, very good for its price. It doesn't have the same feedback as the Shapton glass, but it definitely has a very positive, engaging, lively feedback. Your knife definitely will not, your stone is not going to be a limiting factor for you if you bought this stone. Your technique is going to be the limiting factor for most people. It is a little bit more coarse than the 1000 Shapton glass stone. I would say if I had to give it an actual number, I would say it's probably between 700 and 800 grit, but it definitely does feel like a 1000 grit stone. It feels really nice. I mean, for the price, I don't think you can get a better stone out there. There is a King 1000, 6000 grit whetstone, which I will actually use to compare against this stone some point. I will get that video to you guys soon. It also is a very slow wearing stone, which is surprising. Most stones in that $20 category and below, they tend to wear really quickly, but this stone here, I can definitely tell that it's not a fast wearing stone, which is a big surprise. I haven't really used the 400 side that often yet, so I will do another 400 comparison with another knife series. On the 6000 side, the 6000 is a really nice stone. I mean, this is, for a 6000 grit stone, I don't think you can get a better stone out there. I mean, it is, the edge on this stone is very, very close to mirror polish. Not quite mirror polish, but definitely very close. The hand feel is really nice. It definitely doesn't feel soft and doesn't feel too hard. You definitely have a lot of control as you're stropping on this stone. I haven't used this stone in the push and pull yet, so I will definitely do a video with where I polish the knife using a push and pull. With this video, it was a single strop, and it actually worked really well. Because of the thickness of this stone, I don't think that a push and pull polishing method would be great for it, because you will wear the stone down maybe a little bit too quickly. So I definitely think that a single strop method for the Shapton glass is the way to go. But overall though, a really good stone. Considering the price, this stone set here will run you between 170, I think they retail between 70 80 bucks each, and I think the 6000s maybe be a little higher. So I don't know the exact price. I haven't looked. I don't look at whetstone prices all that often until I'm actually shopping for them. So I bought these a few months ago, like 6 months ago, so I don't really know what they are now, but I'm pretty sure they were both around 70 to 80 bucks each. So you're looking at 160 to 180 bucks investment for the Shapton glass stones, which is not a bad investment if you were to sharpen a lot of knives and you simply wanted a really great working whetstone set. Here, this stone here I've seen range between, I think, $12 up to $22. Depending on the season, and I'm sure when what stock they have in inventory, they will raise the prices and lower the prices depending on how fast they want to move them. But for $22 max, I think I've never seen it beyond that. But I think I checked it. I think I checked it like a week ago, and it was right around $22. Really, really great set right here. These, I think I've listed these for like 28 bucks. So they're really nice. I mean, this set here, you're looking at a total investment of under $50. And from what I can tell, if they're not equal, the strop gave that, at least based on the sound that I can hear, it was a little bit cleaner. These are also great if you guys were just to use daily maintenance. To do daily maintenance on the Shapton glass stones would require a little bit more time and a little bit more technique. Your precision has to be definitely more controlled versus a leather strop where there's give. A tiny bit of give in the leather will give you more wiggle room to work with if your technique wasn't perfect. But either way though, both stone sets will work. Both combinations will work really well. I'm always looking for ways to save money and to get the best edge from my knives. And for myself, actually in the mornings, 3 to 4 days, every 3 to 4 days in my kitchen, I actually strop on my leather strop just for like 10 strokes on each side, and that keeps my edge just razor sharp. And that's all I do now. I actually don't sharpen my knives all that often. I sharpen knives for the videos here a lot, but for my personal knives in my kitchen, I just strop them every 3 to 4 days, and that actually works really, really well. So, you know, so there you have it, guys. Budget option of under $50 versus a let's say $180 option with Shapton glass stones. Both will give you razor sharp edges, as you guys can see here. Really comes down to, do you want a more uniform stone that looks really, really nice, or do you want to go just, you know, you want to spend all your money on your knives and just get the absolute cheapest combination of sharpening and polishing you can get, which is this combination right over here. As you can see though, the results are pretty much the same. Your technique is going to be the biggest limiting factor in this sort of a environment where you can spend a lot of money on your knives and your stones, or just spend a lot of money on your knives, cheap stones, and just perfect your technique. And you can see the results are actually pretty close. Alright guys, well that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.